Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of The Real Honest Raider. I'm your host, Rick Grimes, and today we're going to break down this bullshit video from Wi-Fi Willie. Yep, I don't recommend ever, going to his channel and clicking the subscribe or any of that shit because he is a bad faith actor in this space, and anything you get from him is going to be skewed towards defending Derek Carr at all costs possible. Quite frankly, Wi-Fi Willie and Raider Cody, um, they probably have adjoining studio apartments, furnished studio apartments in Derek Carr's jockstrap. I can't imagine that these people are considered intelligent, and even in their circle of friends, these people have to be considered the nuttiest of nutty people. And we're gonna go ahead and jump in this video.
Looks like Derek Carr's purposefully trying not to throw the ball to Devontae Adams.
What this guy wants you to believe is complete bullshit. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN is claiming that Derek Carr is deliberately trying not to throw it to Devontae Adams. He uses a mere 3 plays in his example, and these 3 plays are a complete stretch. Plus, any bright Raiders fan knows that Derek Carr has a predetermined place to throw the football. This was reported by Vic Tafur of The Athletic.
I always want him to know, I want to go to exactly what he wants. I want him to think, oh, that's exactly where I think the ball is going to go. I'm trying my best just to execute it exactly how he sees it,
Okay. So Derek Carr just threw his coach under the bus, right? And you just said at 20 seconds.
Plus, any bright Raiders fan knows that Derek Carr has a predetermined place to throw the football. This was reported by Vic Tafur of...
First off, Vic Tafur is a fucking shill for the Raiders. Vic Tafur doesn't give any honest reporting. No NFL reporter gives honest reporting because they're all employees and they're not allowed. They're all employees of the NFL, basically. They're given a list of things they're not even allowed to talk about, and they can't ask hard questions. They're not allowed to ask questions that will upset the athletes. And if they do, they'll get their credentials pulled and won't be able to ask any more questions, because asking tough questions isn't what the NFL wants. They want to be able to build everybody up and make it seem like everybody is so happy and so good and nobody's bad at the game. But this guy is bad faith. He says Derek Carr only has one, as a predetermined receiver he's got to throw to, and he's not supposed to look anywhere else. But he didn't even read the tweet, right? It says Derek Carr admitted that some of his plays may have been predetermined, which is possible because you have screens, you'll have designed screens, designed swing passes, designed any plan, like if it's any short to intermediate route, those could possibly, because you're like in short yardage, like if you're like, in a short yardage situation, you have a predetermined guy. So you design a play like they used to design picks, right? And you would pick a guy and then you would make sure to throw. But that's called a hot read, right? Most of the time that's a hot read. And some of them have a hot read only, right? An only hot read. Like there's only one route actually on the whole list. Everybody else is designed to be decoys and block, right? So I can't imagine any more disingenuous comment than this when he says that they're all predetermined. So let's just listen to this again at 20 seconds. And he says, any intelligent.
Plus, any bright Raiders fan knows that
Any bright Raiders fan.
Carr has a predetermined place to throw the football.
This is called a hot read. So this guy has no idea what he's talking about. He's never played football. Maybe he's only played Madden. He's a moron. And then Derek Carr throws his coach under the bus by saying, I only want to do it the way he wants me to do it. So he can just shill his blame off on somebody else. And then while he's saying that he's got a predetermined play, he also decides to post this part to it.
Do it exactly how he sees it,
Yes, Derek Carr could sometimes throw it to a different receiver.
Oh, look, he said he can throw it to other people too, but I thought he has a predetermined one. He contradicts himself a lot. He doesn't know what reality is. Like Wi-Fi Dickless doesn't actually have a clue how football is ran, how it's played, how the the plays are supposed to be designed. He doesn't know what the word leverage means, proper leverage. He doesn't know what any of the tree pad, the pattern trees are for any of these receivers. He doesn't know any of the call outs. He has never been under center one time in his life. Okay? Not once. Never once. And he's going to go ahead and try to discredit a guy who made it through college. And wifiwillie hasn't even gone to college, right? The guy is a fucking chomo. He's literally one paycheck away from being homeless, right? No big deal about that, right? Because most of us are. But he tries to make it out like he's some sort of professional above everybody else by talking down to everybody else who are giving honest takes of what Derek Carr really is.
If he notices a different coverage,
we'll always have excuses for, backtracking some statements that don't make any sense.
but in each coverage, there is one deliberate place that he is supposed to go to with the football.
So he's right back to there's one deliberate place he's supposed to go with the football. That's called a hot route. You don't call it a deliberate receiver. Like, I got to throw it to deliberate A or deliberate Z or deliberate, you got to be a fucking moron. What kind of descriptive fucking words are you using here, pal? Why would you even deliberate? That's not even a term we use in football. You say it's a hot route, and then you go through your reads. Hot route is read 1, second route read 2. And you go down, and if you get to read 3, you're probably sacked or running for your life. Okay, that's just the truth of it, because that means that's a coverage sack. But you wouldn't know anything about that, you ice cream truck driving chomo.
We're going to go over Mr. Dan Orlovsky's 3 plays. Dan, who has a career total number of 15 touchdowns. And
hey, guess what? Dan Orlovsky's professional career has nothing to do with his intellectual capacity to analyze video film, right? You having no experience whatsoever, 0 touchdowns, 0 games played, 0 football fields been on, are going to sit there and try to discredit the guy who got actually into the NFL? You couldn't sniff the water boy position, you fucking chomo.
in his NFL career as a quarterback, Derek Carr has 199. We're going to go.
He was a backup most of his career. You have no idea what you're talking about. Of course he doesn't have as many touchdowns. Derek Carr wouldn't have as many either if he was put in this position where he's supposed to be as a backup too. But he got stuck on the Raiders, didn't he? And the Raiders hadn't had a good quarterback in years, and so we were giving him chance after chance after chance. Nice job, moron.
Go check out to see what Dan has to say. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the.
Do not like this video and do not subscribe to this man unless you want to be lied to your entire life.
This channel for more Raiders content. So in this first play, he claims the ball is supposed to go to Davante Adams.
Wheel route, throw to Devontae. He went with the real route. Devontae.
See, and here it is, my guy. He was supposed to throw the ball after he beat him here because it's a curl route, right? So the curl route is open, and it is the correct call. 100 out of 100. The only other option he had was Waller, right? That's it. You don't throw it to this guy. You're not getting anywhere with this guy because they have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that can converge onto him. Who's converging onto him if they're all running down or shifting their weight out, momentum up? He's running backwards. This guy's running out in case he's covering this area here because this is a zone coverage. This is a zone beater, right? Zone beater.
Devontae's wide open.
Derek Carr actually ends up checking it down to the running back Josh Jacobs here, but he claims it's supposed to go to Davante Adams because this defender is distracted by the wheel route, and he claims Davante Adams is open, which I find kind of ridiculous.
Ready? He's got his man beat. This man's not looking, so if the ball's thrown, he's not intercepting it. He's looking for this guy, right? So he's in a position where he can't turn his body to get him. This is the only man that can make a play on the ball, right? And he's got him beat. He has him beat. He has him beat, Wi-Fi dickless. This is the only man that can make a play on the ball. This guy's going with him. This guy's out of the play. 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 This guy's out of the play because he's running with him. The only man who can make the play here is this man.
Ridiculous. There are more.
And ball should have already been right here. Right here. The ball should have already been thrown. But your quarterback that you live in the vicinity of his crotch on a regular basis is not throwing the ball with proper timing. And imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that. He doesn't throw with proper timing. Let's see. Is not an anticipatory thrower. Doesn't throw with timing. There it is. This is his pre-draft report. Go ahead and pause the video here and go ahead and read through some of this shit. Okay? All of this shit applies to Derek Carr today. This is the crap that was given to the draft people before he was drafted. This is the negatives, right? This is the negatives. So everybody, just remember that shit. And so let's continue.
Multiple defenders around Davante Adams, and this defender.
This is late. The ball, you don't throw it. You wouldn't throw it now, right? It's late. He's showing you that these defenders are here now. This is late. The ball should have already been in his hands. They should have already been in his hands. And that's the problem with Derek Carr because he's not an anticipatory thrower, okay? Wi-Fi Willie, shut your channel down. You're an ignorant little fuck, and I can't stand you. You're a fucking degenerate loser, and you don't have any good faith arguments to say because you know damn well Derek Carr is a bad quarterback and you keep shilling it. Either that or you desperately want to divorce your wife and marry Derek Carr's jock. That's all.
Right here still
can't
has
believe
an
you're
ability
married either,
to
buddy.
make a play
You're
on the
ugly as
football
fuck.
due to the amount of length and the amount of time that would have to pass in order for that ball to get to Davante Adams. You actually have 3 defenders.
This guy trying to give you a line and saying, like, you know, use maths. It doesn't work if you use maths, right? What a fucking disingenuous little fuck. Watch the fucking play from the beginning. Watch this shit. It's easy and it's quite clear.
It's supposed to go to Davante Adams because this defender is distracted by the wheel route, which I find kind of.
Beat him right there. This guy's going this way. You stupid ignorant fuck. This guy's going this way. You stupid ignorant fuck. This guy's backpedaling. You stupid ignorant fuck. This guy's running and not even in the play. So these 3 are irrelevant players, right? They don't have a play on the ball. This guy does not have a play on the ball. That's 4 defenders out of the play. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders now that are irrelevant players on the defense. They are relegated to worthless. And this man is the only other option you have, but you're not going. And he has to respect Waller too, which is the funny part. You neglect to mention that this man has to watch the under as well because he's covering this area, right? He's covering this area. He's covering this area. He's covering this area. He's got to cover this. He's covering this. You see what I'm saying? And he's covering over here, right? This is a zone coverage. And this is a zone beater. And you have no idea what you're talking about.
Ridiculous.
Right now, the ball should already be right here. Right where my mouse cursor is, the ball should already be like at this line somewhere. It should have already been out of his hands, and it should already be up in the air.
There are multiple defenders around Davante.
Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me why he doesn't see this. The ball should have already been thrown.
Defenders around.
If the ball was already in his hands, how does this guy get there, right? That's what I'm trying to say. If the ball's already in his hands, how does he get there? That you just have no good faith arguments. Let's go to the next play. You're clearly just a bad faith actor in this. Oh wait, he didn't even cover another one. So let's just go to this part where he goes into
Force it to Davante
again.
Right there. But
It's not a force, right? It would have been a first down or a touchdown. I've already shown you. If he threw it early, Davante would have caught that ball, turned it upfield, and won it all day long. He would have fooled this guy.
Keep in mind,
here,
week 1, after Davante Adams had those monster numbers, Collins getting all these targets and.
Get out of here.
No. Now this play.
That was a part where he's sitting there saying, where he's trying to say, Davante Adams got so many targets, and now we're all complaining that he's not getting enough, right? We complained that he got too many, and now we're complaining that he's not getting enough. Like that's not what we're saying. Like, that's such a bad faith argument that he posted, right? And I don't want to go through it and give it any credence because it's disgusting.
Plays when Derek Carr overthrows it to Foster Moreau, one of the few bad plays that he picks out here, and he claims he's.
I like how he got a nervous laugh. One of the few bad plays he had here. Don't worry, folks. I'm just making this shit up as I go. Right? Come on. Like, does anybody buy that shit? It's not one of his bad plays he's had. He's had a ton of bad plays. How about the Waller pass in the end zone? Bad play. How about the fucking Waller pass for the interception, the deflection, because he fucking put him in a hospital pass? What about the first Waller pass that was terrible, that he threw it to him and got Waller's cream because he threw it behind him again? Like, how many incomplete passes did he have that were terrible and overthrown? There's a lot of them. He threw 44 and he only completed like 29. Like, how often do you look in the mirror and realize you're stupid? Wi-Fi dickless.
You should have thrown it to Davante Adams here in the middle of your...
Yes, it's a timing curl route again. He just decided not to do it. I mean, you could throw it here, but honestly, Davante, if you threw it where he curls out, right, and it's already on this side leverage, he catches it and then goes. He catches it, digs, and goes, right? He might get cracked here. This might be a bad time. But honestly, wouldn't have he might have gotten a first down. He could have turned it up, got a first down, and the sticks move. Instead, he throws it to shitbag, and he throws it 15 feet too high.
Your screen, but when you look at it, there's two defenders there. Foster Moreau is right there. It only has one defender. He could break a tackle. He did that.
Foster Moreau is, I have to tell you, Foster Moreau is a blocker. He's not. He can catch the ball. He's Lee Smith. That's what Foster Moreau is. He's Lee Smith.
Earlier in this game, Foster Moreau was the right decision. Derek Carr just...
Foster Moreau was not the right decision. It was a decision. I mean, if he had... Here's another thing, right? Derek Carr doesn't pump fake or look anybody off. He just does vanilla reads. Like, he doesn't have any game to him.
Overthrows the football to Moreau. Think about it. If he does, throw it to Davante, he'd have to throw it pretty low. How big of a gain is that going to be?
He doesn't have to throw it low. Throw it on the outside of the defender, and he would get it.
When you have 2-3 defenders in this vicinity, and if for some reason maybe it's tipped or whatnot, or if it tips upwards, if this defender tries to make a play on the foot.
Do you hear all the scenarios that this man throws out to make an excuse for his illogical fucking commentary?
Football, there's a chance that this guy could intercept the football here. So it,
a poorly thrown ball to Foster Moreau could get fucking tipped and intercepted. It was a poorly thrown ball. If it was thrown a little bit more poorly, Foster Moreau would have tipped it up, and the guy right here would have picked it off and ran it for 6. What would you say then, fucking dickless?
it really wasn't the safest decision. And this is also an early down situation. This was on second down. So you don't want to go for these risky plays in this scenario. That's how you end up with turnovers like Carr had in week 1.
Not to say you weren't riding his dick on week 1 then too, buddy. You were. And Derek Carr is terrible. And you keep watching these plays, and it just shows you he's terrible. Because even on the play he could have thrown it to fucking Davante Adams, he still threw it to fucking Dan Moreau terribly. You're a fucking joke.
And this next play was one of the plays in which Derek Carr had some pressure, and he was...
This should have been a pump fake throw. Pump fake throw. The pump gets him, who's spying the quarterback's eyes, to go this way. To even lean this way. 1 or 2 steps, and all of a sudden, bam, he's wide open. And if you let it go long enough, these guys who have alternate routes here and whatever the fuck, these guys end up drawing him out, and it gets even more obvious it should have been a touchdown to Davante. This is a fade route to Davante, and I'm not sure why Derek Carr can't throw any fucking passes in the end zone.
Hit as he was thrown, and then he's going to throw an incompletion to Foster Moreau right here. But Orlovsky is going to claim, oh, man, he should have gone to...
Right there. He's already running in. The ball should have been lobbed up here. Throw. Throw to this spot right here. Right here. He's already running in because he bit on the Waller. Throw it. Like, I don't understand.
Davante.
Listen, I'm not going to go ahead any further, but that's the third play he shows. And just remember, he's contradicted himself 15, 20, 30 times already. He literally has rode the jock of Derek Carr from the beginning, and he gives bad faith commentary. I hope everybody has seen that this guy is actually quite full of himself. He's quite ugly. He's disingenuous. He's dishonest, has no integrity, and biased reporting doesn't make you good. If what you want to hear is Derek Carr is good and that Derek Carr is never going to have a bad game and Derek Carr's never at fault and Derek Carr is a deity, um, and is like the second coming of Christ, as some people say, which is blasphemy. Um, if you start thinking like this, and there's nothing that anything could happen to Derek Carr that would make you hate him in a game, or get off the bandwagon. If there's nothing that could ever happen, then you're not actually a Raider fan. You're actually just a Carr fan, and I wish you weren't born. I wish you weren't even on the earth. I wish you were on a rocket to the sun to burn up. That's what I hope, because I don't want you to reproduce. I don't want you to spread your stupidity around to other people. Like, you're the kind of people that just go, just win, baby, right? As if that means something, right? That was a statement given to the Raiders, that winning a Super Bowl, a one game, right? Do anything to win that one game, right? When you're playing a season, that's where commitment to excellence comes in, because you're not going to be consistent unless you have a commitment to excellence. If you live by the just win, baby, you might as well just go to the casino and pull it all on black, right? Put it all on red, or play blackjack with like $500 hands and blind bet, blind split, do whatever the hell, right? If you want to gamble, go to the casino. If you want to win games consistently, have a commitment to excellence. Drop the idea that we just need to do claw, scratch, and whatever to get wins, because it does matter in the manner in which you win. And in the manner in which you win tells people whether or not you're up to the snuff, you're up to the bar, you meet the requirements to be considered elite, right? If you're just getting lucky, you're just getting lucky. I've been your host, Rick Rhymes, on the Real Honest Raider. And I apologize up front for all the nasty shit I've said to upset maybe people in here. But I'm gonna say this: if you like Derek Carr, I fucking don't it doesn't matter what I say. You're just gonna sit there and live in your delusional world, sip your little fucking cups of coffee or drink your sodas, and just sit there and live in that delusional gingerbread house you have. Okay? Because you're living in the real world. You're not even fucking remotely close. And may God have mercy on your soul. Okay? And with that, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody who's not a Derek Carr fan. Derek Carr fans, get bent.